Welcome back. So as you guys realize, we had talked about the 5 C's, right? We talked about communication. In communication, we wanted to make sure we were consistent. With consistency, we also wanted to make sure that we build character. But to have all those 3, we needed to make sure we have the courage. And these courage, and when we and having the courage, sometimes people get nervous. But one thing I've realized that's really helped many people emotionally, mentally, and even socially is cardio. Making sure you take care of yourself physically is so important, because at a young age, if you could have the habits where kids are playing outside, moving outside in the sunshine, or even if it's cold in the fall, for 20 to 30 minutes outside, and that's something they're used to, that's going to develop into habits later. Right now, we've seen so many kids, because they're starting off always on their social media 4 hours a day, that they're not going outside anymore. And when they get 2, then they're 4th grade, 5th grade, video games. What do you do when you play video games? You're eating chips, you're drinking pop, and you're seeing kids now obese more than ever before. Because now kids are not getting that movement that they have. I'm not saying everyone has to be fit, but I'm saying all of us need to make sure that we are at least consistently moving around, getting good cardio. And I feel that all of us as adults, if you want your kids to show those good habits, you yourself have to make sure that they know. And that means as a family, hey guys, I got 30 minutes, we're all gonna exercise. If you wanna do your stuff, we're all going outside to play. Hey, I'm gonna be moving around, and you're gonna be moving around. If they're playing basketball, you wanna throw a ball, you wanna run and jog around as they're playing, that is fine. But it's so important that at least minimum 20 minutes a day, they need to, I believe 30, but at least if you can get their 20 minutes of movement. If that means it's outside, if sunshine's there, even if that means on certain days, if it's cold or it's not possible to be outside, even in the house, moving, getting out. And I'm not talking about video games. I'm talking about even if that means a YouTube where you have a 20-minute workout that you want to do, a HIIT program, a Tabata, whatever it is, that has that, and they're getting that blood flowing, and they're moving up and down and seeing, and they're sweating. That's going to change. And if you could build those habits when they're young, that is going to help out. So if you get that 20, 30-minute habits, it's huge. Also, when they're young, I'm a big believer, to help build on their social skills and building on a character and resilience, sports is an amazing thing. Even when they're young, at 3, 4, 5 years, soccer is a great opportunity just for them to play some sports where their team sports is very important. And sometimes you might have something where it's independent, gymnastics, or it might be even tennis, golf, or whatever. But I think building in stuff where they also have a team approach, because that doesn't always become about them and also others, and they realize as they get old, sometimes you're going to be the star player, sometimes you're not going to be. And letting them play a team sport that they're really good at, and sometimes a sport they're not really good at. So at least they could see that, you know what, I myself struggle in certain things, and they realize how other teammates who are really good at something and maybe not good at something, they could understand that. So making sure they have that opportunity, so if separate from walking and running things, but having tennis, or if it's basketball, volleyball, biking, other options that they have where they have some team approach, and even if not competition, it would be really good for them to slowly build that. And that means just ball and hand skills, eye coordination, all these things will go a long way. And I think the more that we develop those as they go through, as they get older, kids realize, for boys, having that social, a physical opportunity, being athletic or getting an opportunity to play will go a long way. And even for young ladies, if you build that, you see that individuals who are playing after school activities are less likely to have social esteem issues and so on and so forth, and feel good about themselves. So it's so important on both sides, especially boys and girls, when they get to middle school, they're worried about others, how they look, how they dress, how they feel plays a big part. And if you have that habit of them exercising, having them have cardio, having them play sports, it changes the game. All right, and then also with that, if you're getting them out to play, you're getting them out to play in other teams and getting the heart rate going up, is now the other aspect of cardio is eating healthy. Making sure you have habits. I love to eat chips and pizza and all that, but making sure you put balances so they know that, hey, this is good stuff. There are certain days, because if you could bring good eating habits when they're young, and they'll still have their candies in there, but just balancing things out. We're not trying to tell these kids to go on keto diets or all these that. Just taking and saying, hey, look, approach eating right, eating at good times, eating at certain times, trying to get their fruits and vegetables in there too. and whatever their proteins, all the other aspects, but giving them a balanced eating habit and starting now, and as they get older in middle school, high school, that'll be good. Because now if they're exercising and they're feeling good, they're gonna think physically, they're gonna feel better. And if they're eating good, that also changes up, right? If they're eating sugar in the morning, by the time in the middle of the day, they're having these a big drop because now they don't get that stimulation anymore. That's not good. I know a lot of people drink coffee. I don't drink coffee or tea. But if you have that habit, there's no need for a young age to start having them start drinking coffee and tea. I noticed my daughter, I was like, why are you drinking a tea? He's like, oh, some of the kids. I'm like, well, I don't want you to make this habit because really you don't need that right now, right? Because don't think because everyone's doing it, that's how you wake up. That's just how people made it. If you could just drink water, eat right, exercise, you might not need that. If there's ways you could wean them out of things that they don't need, that would be huge. So that's why that habit of understanding, why we eat right, we exercise, why you don't need to smoke, you're an athlete, or weed, or all these other influences, social influences, or even drugs, where kids sometimes feel is another way to feel better, is not the way you want them to go ahead and bring that out. So again, 20 minutes of getting out activities through walking, running, sports activities, and then put them into sports activities where they might be playing in one-on-one together, but also give them an opportunity to play in a group setting, showing them about 2 sports. That way they can work on their feet skill, their hand skills, but then also showing them a sport that they're really good at and a sport they're not good at, so they could also be humble a little bit, but then getting them outside and getting them the sunshine and then eating right and giving those good habits. And hey, look, and it starts with us too, making sure, and I realize that when at certain times you get sick, and God protect us from it, but when that happens, if you have good health, there's a less likely chance to take care and get less likely to get sick, or when you do get sick, it helps out. And that's something that played a big part even in my own personal health of health, where the doctors say, look, hey, because you're very healthy, hey, you have an opportunity when you go through chemo, hopefully things will get better. And so that's something that's really helped out. So hopefully keep those 5 C's in mind. And this last one was cardio. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day and go outside and run. Air exercise. Thank you.
We are honored to say this video is sponsored by Amana Mutual Funds. Amana Mutual Funds favors companies with low price-to-earnings multiples, strong balance sheets, and proven businesses. They follow a value-oriented approach consistent with Islamic finance principles. Start investing in a pure way today with Amana Mutual Funds.